Today we're joined by James Cann, a media and music student. He recently graduated from media production at DMU and is now on a music technology master's. How are you doing, James?
Doing very well, thank you, Taylor. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How did it all begin for you, James? What kind of things did you study at school? What kind of things did you study at college? How did you get into what you currently do?
At school, that's a big question to start off with. So at school, I suppose a place to start is GCSEs, and I decided to do decided I was a drama student. Decided to do a bit of acting, did film studies, did history and geography, which I failed history because I spent most of the time not in the lesson. In fact, my parents don't know that. So if they ever listen to this podcast, now they do. And yeah, so yeah, from GCSE, decided to go on to A levels. Did drama again. Did film studies. Did English for a year, which don't talk about English for a year. But yeah, and I kind of decided. I decided around about sixth form. It was around about the point where I was doing A-level drama and couldn't get a speaking part in the school play that I decided that it wasn't for me. And I thought, well, media or film studies looks very good at uni. And come as I was talking to you earlier, thought, right, I'll become a script writer. I'll go to uni, write some films, become director. Got to uni, discovered sound, and now I'm here in this beautiful house in Grasmere Street.
You mentioned your past journey of academics, but what kind of music did you listen to when you were younger?
I was big into Tiny Temper, and in fact, that's another thing my parents don't know. In fact, yeah, I was having a listen to Tiny Temper earlier. Pass Out, it's a banger. But I kind of started listening to music. Probably, in fact, I started discovering music from an early age. My dad would sing Oasis and Led Zeppelin to me and my sister. And as I got to like 7, 8, I decided, right, well, it's time to make a playlist. But I didn't really know what to put on the playlist. So it's a mixture between my dad's music, my sister's music, and just some of my music and TV themes that I liked. So I'll have to try and find this playlist when I'm back home and send it to you. But it was literally like from Mika Grace Kelly to
Yeah.
Custard Pie Led Zeppelin to the Match of Day theme tune. It was fucking brilliant.
You like what you like, and I can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
What situation, be it media production or your new masters, has been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge. Hmm. I think, to be honest, biggest challenge has been the confidence to actually do things.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my head. So I suppose when I came to uni, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be playing in band, doing photography, basically doing all these great things. And right now they don't seem that great because I'm doing them at the moment, and I kind of want to do more and do better. But yeah, it was kind of like at the start of uni, I wouldn't have dreamt of doing any of that stuff. I mean, kind of like playing in the band is something I'd always wanted to do, but come to uni, it was kind of the case where I didn't think I would be able to do it. But then it was just basically a case of going out and making friends in the music society and doing all the stuff. It was as simple as that.
Let's go back a little bit of time and let's go to the start of university. How did you find it when you first got into university? Then obviously the pandemic hit. How has that been for you?
Um, Probably easier than most people with the pandemic because yeah, I was lucky enough to go home and kind of it was in the pandemic where I started making my own music because I had access to different instruments at home. So it was come I feel very lucky to go home to come have that opportunity. But I suppose it was difficult in the sense that I, in fact I wasn't before the pandemic, I wasn't really someone to go out a lot. But yeah, when the pandemic hit, it was kind of like, well, I would like to see all my uni mates and see all my mates at home, but like in the weirdest way possible. It was nice because my dad was on furlough, my mum was at home, come had the two dogs, and yeah, it was probably the best situation in the pandemic.
If you had to kind of sum up your media production experience, how did you find it? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, it was probably the best decision I've made in life so far to do that course because I wouldn't be on this masters without it. If I went and did film, I might be trying to write the best film in the world and not be happy about it. So yeah, I applied to Birmingham actually to do television, and I didn't get the grades, so it was almost a blessing in disguise. Because yeah, I've loved my time here, which is why I'm still here.
Is there a certain experience that sticks in your mind?
Yes, I was trying to think of a few earlier, but the one which sticks in my mind was the TV production day.
That was great.
Yeah,
What did you
because
enjoy most about it?
I enjoyed watching the TV show at the end of it. And it was kind of like a thing because that's the TV production. I watched Freya's podcast and she said that was most like second year was the most stressful time in that. That is right. The TV production is the most stressed I've ever been, well, in uni and possibly life as well. But yeah, I really didn't need to be. And I think being the producer, you obviously you were the producer for the
Yeah.
first show, but being the producer in the second show, it was come a case where I thought I was responsible for everything. And watching that show at the end, it was kind of like a realization of, oh, I don't need to worry about everyone because everyone's done a very good job. And it was a very good lesson in life, actually.
Talking about life, where do you see yourself in a year's time?
In a year's time, hopefully either, well, I'd love to be with a band doing photography on a tour.
Is there a particular band?
Not at the moment, but I I would love to do that and yeah, basically produce music, produce some video, but yeah, there's that, but then there's also come getting a job. Like if come that stuff doesn't work out, it's just making sure there's something to fall back on.
Definitely. You speak about making your own music. How was Crowbar going?
Crowbar is going great. We've got a gig on Sunday with so it's the Music Startsy gig night. So they happen twice a year, the gig nights, and then there's showcases. But yeah, we are. It's in fact it's our first performance. I'm quite excited about it. And so we've been in the studio this week. Well, like I've mentioned in the group chat, I decided I'm doing a Bond song for the Masters, and using Crowbar as an excuse to write that Bond song. And it's a previous song we had, and I kind of thought, well, in fact, it was we played it at an open mic, and someone said, "Oh, well, that sounds very Bond," and it's like, well, I'll just might have to add a few more Bond chords to it.
Wow, who's your current role model?
My current role model, wow. Uh, hmm. That's an incredibly good question, because almost saying someone famous is an obvious answer, but then also saying one of your family members is also a really obvious answer. But I think in the past 18 months, because of COVID, I've lost a couple of family members, but it's coming in their lateness that I've kind of learned more about them, and kind of almost, yeah, dug into their lives, and kind of thought, well, I'd like to be more like that.
Did they kind of follow the musical kind of roots that you have?
No, actually. So my granddad he was an Army Navy doctor. So he was fairly disciplined, and quite fairly uptight, but also a very nice man, and had a very good life. And yeah, it's kind of something to aspire to. Not in. I don't want to be an Army Navy doctor.
You sure?
I'm very sure.
How sure? What if you could play music around a campfire with them? How does that sound?
What am I playing?
A ukulele.
Well, go on then.
Yeah, why not? Any particular song? You could choose one there and then.
Song
But
pass out by the time the tempo.
if you had to choose a name for your autobiography, James, what would it be?
Well, surely it would simply just be James Cann.
I like it. To the point.
Mm.
Definitely. If you had to play a little game, it's how did you feel? It's just a little quick on the spot idea. And I'm going to ask you a few little questions, and you've got to say what comes to your mind first. Media production or music technology?
Music technology.
Analog or digital?
Analog. I had to think about that then, because that's how long we've been recording, because I could probably double that time with that question.
I'm going to just quickly move on.
Yeah.
Pro Tools or Audition?
Pro Tools.
TV production or photography?
Photography.
Tea or coffee?
Tea or coffee? Coffee.
Really?
Mm.
Coffee or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
There we go. What's the one question that you wish I'd asked you?
What the fuck is that on your face?
Wow, come on. We're growing it. I say. I can't grow anything, but you're growing it for November, right?
I am, yeah. It always sounds very egotistical to come out, oh, wish you asked that.
Yeah.
But I think kind of more more questions about kind of music when I was younger, because I could expand on that a lot.
Okay. What music did you listen to when you were younger, other than Tiny Temper?
So I suppose, so the first CD I ever bought on my own was in fact I got for my birthday. I have a clear memory of it. It was either birthday or Christmas. I got off with their heads by the Kaiser Chiefs, and kind of, as I grew older, I kind of found basically those those pop songs with one rap verse, and I couldn't get enough of them. So it's like Jesse J doesn't really do it, but Jesse J feat B.O.B. That's a different kettle of fish. But yeah, then I had my phase of Imagine Dragons and Bastille. And in fact, where I got most of my music was on the FIFA soundtracks, because they were always brilliant. That's what introduced me to Two Door Cinema Club. My sister listened to Two Door Cinema Club as well, and kind of like, yeah, and I'm still do like a bit of hip hop and rap, and my taste in music has, I suppose it's developed a lot since uni, but also with age. So I suppose I didn't really listen to Radiohead until came to uni, and now
I was waiting for it. How do you feel about Radiohead?
it's a big question. How I feel about Radiohead? I just think well, in fact, all of the members of Radiohead are a very creative bunch and do very interesting things. So that's another kind of reason why I got into film scores, because say like John Greenwood did the score for There Will Be Blood, and it's yeah. But I suppose if you want to hear more about like my music life, I can go on.
Feel free, James, honestly.
Well, so yeah, I suppose after come Bastille, Imagine Dragons, and then as I got older, my taste in music got heavier, and I think one thing which is, well, people don't listen enough to in songs is lyrics.
Mm.
So I ended up doing the creative writing A level, which I half of me regrets doing it and half of me doesn't, because I've now learned from it, and I'll probably write less pretentious stuff. But yeah, it's come like there. I basically everything I wrote, it's like, well, I'm inspired by Alex Turner. I'm inspired by Matt Bellamy. I'm like, Eminem is my Shakespeare. Cut that bit out. I can't believe I said that.
Eminem is my Shakespeare.
Christ. No, you go on, use that. Yeah, you can embarrass me.
Well, we learned that Eminem is your Shakespeare. History you missed out on.
Yeah, in fact, the reason I missed out of most of history is because I decided to hide in the Spanish class to make my mates laugh.
Did you learn any Spanish whilst you were at it?
No, not really. But I think the most I managed was about 40 minutes in the class, and the teacher didn't notice me until I got kicked out. But yeah, shame, because I was actually quite interested in history.
You've alluded to the fact that you're creating a Bond kind of piece for your masters. Is
Yes.
Once this masters is finished, is there a kind of franchise, genre, or area of music that you'd like to create a certain song for? like your dream kind of area?
I I'd love to do I would love to do film schools. That's kind of part of what I'm gonna do for the second part of this masters. And it's I suppose again looking at it in the way that I'm just doing stuff, I'll take anything at the moment. But I think yeah, it is very cliche to say Bond is the best. But say like if you're like asking for my dream film to school would be a Christopher Nolan directed Bond.
I like it. I
Uh,
really like it.
Chris, if you're listening, take it down.
Well, we'll pass your details on, yeah? Yeah, we've got that
Yeah, yeah.
power. um, what's the one bit of advice that you could give to anybody who's starting within the media or wants to get into the media?
I thought about this earlier, and I thought kind of like the saying for everyone in the media actually, basically enjoy yourself and treat people how you want to be treated. Because like at the end of the day, your job's brilliant. You're editing videos, you're working in TV. Like, why on earth be stressed about it? Because you're living the dream. And kind of also there's I have seen and experienced quite a few like these work experience kind of like gigs where people people expect you to work your ass off for free for the sake of experience, which at the start people probably will, but I think there are far too many people in the media who take advantage of that at the moment. And like yeah, the media is it's a brilliant place and a brilliant place to work. So why be stressed about it? I do think that it's like things are moving too quickly at the moment. Say like I had a summer job. It was kind of like in TV studios where it was just basically one video straight onto the next one, straight onto the next one, straight onto the next one, and like people in that workplace got very stressed about it. It just doesn't need to be that way.
Speaking about the experience that you've garnered for a media role that you've taken throughout the summer, if you had to speak highly or low about any experiences that you've had on certain modules during media production, is there any ones that kind of stick out that you didn't really like or you did like?
The one that stands out for me is the Tech 2053 module. So that would be the audio recording, the Foley, the ADR, the eventual sound story after COVID. And I thought that was such a creative module. And basically it's the module that got me into microphones, maybe a bit too much. And yeah, it was just kind of building on that love of sound really, because I think I found with visuals there's a limit to what you can do, but with sound, well, the sky and beyond is the limit, because you can just let your imagination run wild and come up with literally anything, as long as you can record it or record something which represents it.
I completely agree. If you had to point a finger at a DMU staff member that was your favourite or you got on the best with, who would it be? I think I know the answer, but I've got to ask.
Well, can I point two fingers?
Respectively, yeah.
Well, to Adam Wicks and Chris Feeks. And
Definitely.
that's not taking away from, say, three Pauls: Paul Smith, Paul Harmer, and Paul Phillips. It's not taken away from any of the lecturers really, but it's just I enjoyed sound the most.
Is there been any experiences within Media Society that you never thought had happened before that has kind of taken you back?
As in, come like, in what context?
In regards to, have you been dragged up on stage? Have you performed? Have you kind of, even if it's just a night out or a holiday or a society meeting that you've had and you've just gone, I didn't expect myself to be here?
That's strange actually, because I suppose everything that happens, it's a gradual thing in the music society. So you end up in places and you think, well, this is perfectly normal, but then it's kind of like that saying where come things never seem to change, but over a period of time they massively change. So yeah, I suppose it's ending up in all the various venues and taking photos there, come building up a portfolio and come playing the venues. And it's I've never really stopped to think about it and go, I'm actually doing this because I'm doing it, and I'm kind of like interacting with the crowd or just sitting behind drums and enjoying myself really.